Yo.
Yeah.
Mic check 1 2.
My check 3 4.
5 4 6 7.
8 9 10.
Boom.
So hi.
Let's run it. How you doing, man?
I'm okay, man. I'm struggling, but who else? Who isn't right now with what's going on? You know.
Yeah, man. It's one of them tough days, bro. Been quarantined for God knows how long. But
It's a tough day for you.
it's just been cramming in stats, homework, and stuff. You know what I mean? It's the rough life, bro. It's the rough life. But man, we got a great show for you. Thank you for joining us on the P&T Show. I am Jordan Puente. You can follow me, Rexy_Rex, Rexy_Rex_95. And to my other side is my dear friend, my pal, Alex Topete. How you doing, Alex?
Yep. I'm good. You can follow me at Alex_Junior_Topete on both Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow the show at what's the new? I forgot the new handles. It is official P&T Show, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Official P&T Show on both Instagram and Twitter. Go ahead and follow those. We want to thank you for tuning in. We wouldn't be able to do this without everyone who watches us. I've been good, man. I've been good. I don't know, man. The sports world is really just been nuked. Just been nuked by news.
Right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I go ahead and express what I've been so thrilled about this past day and a half now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if we're even allowed to play the audio due to copyright violations, despite we're not even signed to anyone. But, just to do our due diligence, we don't really want to step into any boundaries that we are unfamiliar with. But, man, my boy's back. My boy is back.
Who's back?
He's shaved. He's throwing like he is ready to go and lead Juju and James Conner and James Washington and Chase Claypool to the AFC North champs and potentially Super Bowl. Am I over exaggerating?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you are.
Hey. Tommy John surgery is not stopping him. He is ready to go. He's locked in. Have you seen that man throw that ball in the video? Did you see the video?
I did see the video, yes.
Did you look at you see how Jay Glazer dissed him on his workout, saying he doesn't know how to work out?
I don't know if he completely dissed him by saying that. The report was what was it, Jordan? The report was that Jay Glazer put out, I think he asked Big Ben how his rehab's going, and Ben said something along the lines of, "I'm just drinking a lot of beer and stuff," something like that, something along those lines, and people ran with that the wrong way. I mean, who isn't? I mean, if you're of age, who isn't drinking beer right now at the moment?
Yeah, that's facts. And remember that one thing I was going to tell you about, but I decided to wait until the show started? Okay, so I went on ESPN right after, and I saw that the governor of Pennsylvania was actually upset that Ben decided to go and actually get a haircut while on stay-at-home orders.
I mean, what if he got the haircut at home?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know. Like, literally the first line is, not everyone is happy about Big Ben haircut and beard trim.
I mean,
okay. I mean,
all he did was get like a buzz cut and shave it off. He could have done that himself, honestly. I mean, I could see why people would get mad, but it's a haircut. I need one bad. You're wearing the hat and hoodie. I'm sure you need one bad still too.
Yeah, in a way, kind of. Anyways,
I for sure need one.
That's a topic of a different day. But other sports news, we got a lot to actually discuss. A lot of places are opening up. California, New York, and Texas basically just said, "Come on down. We got a sporting event. Feel free to join us, but no fans."
Right. So California and Texas did say that we could see sports by the month of June. what a great gift, summer gift for us. We can see sporting events by the month of June. The catch is there's not going to be fans. And that brings up the question, like, what are we going to do when the NFL comes around and it's just an empty stadium,
Dude, right? It's gonna be so weird. Cause what was I gonna say?
Joe Buck came. I was gonna say Joe Buck came out and said that they're the most likely, it's almost guaranteed that the teams will be pumping crowd noise through the PA systems of the stadiums. So that's.
Dude, you know what I heard? Oh,
What's
sorry.
that?
Continue.
No,
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
was gonna say. I think it's Japan. Is it Japan or Germany?
The Korean baseball league or
Yeah,
the
yeah. They're pumping
German.
crowd noise.
The Korean baseball league is.
Yeah, one of the leagues is pumping crowd. It's actually pumping crowd noise, and they have dolls in the
Yeah,
stands.
yeah, that's the Korean baseball league.
And
They came under fire because it was discovered that those dolls were sex dolls. So
yeah.
Korea's got some interesting stuff going on over there.
You
And
see
I
what Germany?
believe
You see
South
what
Korea.
Germany's doing?
Who?
You see what Germany's doing?
Yeah, they're doing soccer. They reopened their soccer league.
Yeah. Okay, so since they're not allowed to have fans in the stands until further notice, they are basically saying that if you want a cardboard cutout of yourself, you are able to buy one and put where you want that cardboard to sit. I swear, I swear. I saw that, I was like, dude, you imagine if we ever got to that level? Like, do you ever think we're gonna get to the buy a cardboard so you can put it in the stands? Like, just imagine Jerry Jones saying, "Hey, you want a cardboard? Feel free to stick it in Jerry World during the season."
I'm gonna throw it back really quick. This is the equivalent to when we were watching football, like the football channels back like 10 years ago. Do you remember those fat head stickers that they would put on the walls and everything? That's basically the equivalent. Let me guess. Yours was Troy Polamalu.
No, it was a Steeler helmet. Literally a ginormous fat head of a Steeler helmet.
That's dope. Fat heads were all the rage back then. I wonder if they're still around.
Yeah, they are. Oh no, they are.
They just don't see their commercials as much then.
Mm-mm. Hey, do we got a guest up? Guest up?
I need a. Let's see. Participants. Just Lucas, our stat man.
Stat man? That's later. But let me go ahead and do a quick introduction on our guest before he gets in. Our guest goes by the name of Sean Mcleod. Sean Mcleod. Loki, I want to ask him if he's ever had anyone mispronounce his name in the past, because I did. I had to ask my sister how to pronounce the last name. But his name is Sean Mcleod. Yeah, his name is Sean Mcleod. Senior baseball at Ayala High School in Chino Hills, California. You may be asking, why are we having him on? Well, personally, his stats speak for himself. And he has collected a couple of awards in the meantime. 4-year varsity. Last season they lost in the quarterfinals. But honestly, since I am alumni at Woburn Heights Ayala High School, I personally have never seen Ayala baseball go that far in a long time. So that's why I'm pretty pumped up to have him on. He's helped Ayala basically do some damage in baseball. Yeah, so it's
Well,
should be a good conversation.
How was their season going before everything shut down?
Dude, they were undefeated. They were 9-0. 9-0.
That's pretty good. There was a lot of good baseball being played right before everything happened, man. A lot of really good baseball being played.
Well, Ayala was ranked 7th nationally, and 3rd in the state.
That's pretty big.
Division I baseball.
Yeah, I mean that's huge to be. You said number 7 nationally.
Yeah, bro. That's why I was like, when I saw that, I was like, no way. Like, that's crazy, bro.
Let me see if he's here. Are you excited? Let me ask you this: what did you think about what's his name? Blake Snell. What Blake Snell and Bryce Harper said over the last week?
Yeah, about returning and how it's not healthy. Well, not I wouldn't say the word healthy is a correct word to use, but safe. They didn't feel like it was safe enough to return. That's what you were talking about, right?
Well, I believe that's what Bryce Harper was getting at. Bryce Harper made it a point that, his I think his wife is expecting their first child, and that, how is that going to work? Because he can't take her to
Are you
the
talking about Mike
hospital.
Trout?
Is that Trout?
Yeah, it was Trout.
Okay,
Mike
never
Trout,
mind.
because I remember.
So then I didn't hear what Harper said. I only heard what Blake Snell said, and Snell was saying basically that it's not worth the money. It's not worth the pay cut to go play at the moment.
Do you have the stat number on you on how much the players will get paid if they split the season in half?
Well, they were already taking a 50% pay cut, and then the MLB was considering putting a 33% on top of that, so they'd be making like 25% of their contract.
And MLB salaries are completely different than NFL and any other salaries, because isn't it that the players are guaranteed the entire amount, right? Like they're guaranteed whatever they is that what it is? Because I know MLB contracts are different than NFL, NBA contracts. Like they're two different. They're way two different things.
It might be. I mean, I'm not sure if they're fully guaranteed. I do know that NFL and the NBA have to include fully guaranteed for it to be an actually fully guaranteed contract.
Well, I mean, now that we're on the topic of baseball, I think our guest Sean is ready. I don't know if you want to go check and see if he's ready.
No, still not there.
Still not there? This man. Nope. It's all good, but no. But seriously though, like I honestly found it interesting that Snell spoke out about the not damages, but the warning signs that could potentially be in play if they do decide to play. I mean, I can't blame them. Other people will go against them saying, you're getting paid anyways, why don't you play? Well, I mean, he got a family that he has to attend to. Like, he won't even probably be able to see his family till the season's done. So, like, just think about that. It's probably, like 3.5 months, 4 months possibly,
right,
of just quarantining in a hotel.
Right,
like,
and that's the big problem that everyone's like running into. Is it not? It's not really doable to have people quarantine like for entire months at a time from their relatives and families. It's not possible,
No.
So the whole bubble city craze that was going on like 2 weeks ago, it was never going to happen. I know people were saying they were going to put a dome in Arizona. There was no way that was going to happen because people just thought, oh, it'll be easy. We just have to give the players the test and that'll be it. Just keep them in the same hotel. But people are forgetting you have the entire ballpark staff. You have the entire team because the team isn't just who suits up every day. You have everyone else too. Pitchers are always on a rotation. You have team employees.
Yeah,
the whole team office. You'd have to do that for every single team, and it's for every single sport. Not to mention, you got to remember there's umpires, there's referees, there's officials.
Oh my God.
There's broadcast. If they're going to broadcast, they're going to have to put broadcasters in those kind of, unless they do it from home. So it just, Dude, I don't think it was ever possible.
I can see why they would try, because they're looking at how Japan did it, how Germany did it, and how there's another league that opened up. It wasn't Germany. Oh, shoot. There was another soccer league that opened up besides Germany. Can't think of it. But anyways. But yeah, dude. So I guess they're just looking at all the overseas countries and trying to basically emulate the same thing that they're doing. But we're twice the size of half of those people.
Like, not only that,
we got a lot of sports, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of sports.
You got NHL, MLB, NBA,
MLS,
all with the potential
NFL,
of returning. NFL coming back in a couple months. Like, NHL.
You said that first.
We literally could sit here and go back and forth about this, but yeah, bro, it's one of those. It's some people would not like the comments that the players are making. Some people.
A lot of people didn't.
I tried. I'm for them. I'm like, yo, man, like, hey, do what you got to do, bro. Like, if you got a family, respect. I like what you're doing, Family
Yeah,
first.
a lot of people were not telling Snell, but saying after what Snell, they were responding with, how can he do that? You get paid millions of dollars to play a game. You know, you should be so grateful. Um, Let me just remind you, like, I just want to remind everyone that at your current job, whoever's watching, at your current job, would you still go with everything going on if they cut your pay by 75%? I wouldn't. I would not go, you know? And I'm only making $15 an hour stocking shelves. So I wouldn't go.
I'm not even working. Not even working, bro. I'm at home. I don't even know when I'm supposed to return to work at this point, to be honest. They haven't even told us.
And I just worked a 11-hour shift.
Man, I feel like you got some CBS stories that we probably can just dissect every single CBS story that you might have on us.
Probably, but yeah, I don't think I would. First of all, my coworkers might be watching. By the way, coworkers.
Hi, CBS coworkers.
Hi, CBS coworkers. Thank you for completely messing up my sleep schedule the last week. Really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it.
That's dirty, bro. Oh man, Ike, I really do think he's ready, bro. He has to be. He sent me a text saying for sure.
Let's see. He is still not here. Did you send him the right link?
Yeah, let me shoot him a text.
It's just Lucas waiting.
Oh man, this guy's hilarious. But yeah, bro, so I'm glad we were able to figure out like our sides of the opinions on how we feel about players returning and whatnot. Oh, he about to hit us. He just texted me right now saying he's about to join. So I'll just do the whole intro again just so that we can get familiar with who he is. Right. So we got Sean Mcleod joining us very shortly, probably in like a couple seconds. He is a senior at the moment at Wilderness Ayala High School, located in Chino Hills, California. What? Ayala Bulldogs. What? Alumni, 2014. But anyways, yeah. So Sean, he is a four-time varsity player for Ayala baseball. Right now, Ayala was on pace for probably, in my opinion, a record-breaking season. Started off 9-0, seventh in the nation, and third in the state. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together and give it up for Sean Mcleod.
Yes, sir.
What up, Sean Mcleod?
Yeah, hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
How you doing, Sean?
I'm chilling. How are you guys?
Good. We're surviving.
Yeah.
Surviving to our own terms. Well, Sean, the one question I want to ask you is obviously how you doing, but quarantine, bro. How are you taking up on quarantine? Because I know, obviously, me and Alex both stated that we're going crazy right now. So I'm assuming you're going crazy too.
Yeah, it's a little tough. Definitely, it's like different, but especially with school and stuff. I'm used to seeing everyone every day. Going to like not seeing anyone like in person. It's different, but you gotta just, in my case, stay on the grind of just like staying in shape, doing your baseball stuff and stuff along those lines. But definitely a lot, you get bored a lot, but that just comes with it.
You mentioned staying in shape and just trying to like stay with the flow of things. What are you doing on quarantine to help you stay within what your strengths and like not lose anything? If you know what I mean. Like basically, What are you doing to train?
It's anything and everything, I mean, I'm blessed to have a little bit of a weight set up, so I could still stay in weight shape, but I'm running, I'm doing stuff in the backyard. I got a tee and a net, so I'm doing everything I can. I got a wall, I'm just throwing balls off the wall, fielding, stuff like that, so just everything I can. We gotta adapt to the circumstances right now. So
Has your coach send you any drills to just keep doing while you're quarantined?
Yeah, we got a bunch of like just like a weight sheet, like a workout plans that we do. So we're just saying, we're planning. So I get to, we got a little weight program. That's the first of it, but they'll be dropping us with workouts and other like fielding stuff and stuff like that later.
Yo, I gotta ask, cause as an alumni from Ayala High School, what I have absolutely never seen Ayala listed for baseball third in state. How did that feel
It is
to
crazy.
see
Yeah,
third in state,
yeah, it's
like
crazy.
Division One baseball? That's like you're up there with the best of the best.
Yeah, we the last rankings before the season got shut down, we were 8th in the nation and we're like cool. And the
You
cool
guys,
thing is we're all from Chino Hills, and like all the rest of the like all these private schools from like LA, they're at Harvard Westlake and all these schools, and we're just some dudes from Chino Hills trying to play ball, but that's kind of
Hey,
why.
put your name out there, bro. Put your name on the map.
Oh yeah.
Um, so let's go ahead and start. Next season, you're going to be playing at Long Beach State. How do you feel about that?
I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be a wild ride, but I'm ready.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared for the college life? Are you prepared
Yeah.
to deal with what Division One baseball has to offer for you?
Oh yeah, I mean that's always been my goal, so I've kind of always prepared myself, and I've had a lot of good coaches that are, trying to prepare me for that, all the different things to juggle. So I feel like I don't know yet, but I feel like I'm ready.
You and Seminaries are both from Ayala. Have you guys been keeping in touch and like
Oh yeah,
basically saying, "Hey, man, I'm about to attend Long Beach State." Has he given you any pointers on how to go about your day at Long Beach?
yeah, that's my guy. I mean, he's I got to play with him 1 year at Ayala, my freshman year. He was a senior, and it's kind of weird because now that the seniors, or he was a junior at Long Beach, but he gets to do his junior year again, but then he's dealing with a draft, so it's kind of, hopefully he gets drafted, for his sake. But it'd be cool to play with him for another year. So we'll see.
He's good, bro. Seminaries is pretty good, bro.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's our Friday starter. He went off this year for what was like 4 weeks of this season. But
Dude, I saw. I was looking at it. I was like, dude, wow,
sure.
this guy's good, man. This guy's Seminaries is a good pitcher.
Right.
Has infielding has that always been your position, like throughout Little League, or did you play any other positions beside infielding?
I always played infield. I played catcher a little bit. I pitched, but I was never outfield. I was always like catcher, pitcher, third, short, second. Never played first. And the only position I never played was like first base. And that was like my favorite position growing up. Like I wanted to be, but I never played for it. But
Damn, bro. Um,
you
damn,
guys were undefeated,
jeez,
right?
bro.
Before the season got shut down.
yeah, we were 10-0. We played like a couple tournaments. We had one league game that we played, and that was it. And it was like against one of the lower teams in our league. But other than that, yeah, we were 10-0. We beat some good teams. We were on a roll. We were all pumped, but kind of sucks right now.
Jesus, man. Hey,
Yeah.
I was telling Alex because you mentioned it when we had a Zoom meeting a couple of weeks ago, and you were bubbled popcorn. Talk about what you got going down this week. You mentioned that you got a CIF award. I heard it, but I didn't get to like fully hear like what the award was. You mind elaborating on what exactly the award that you got for CIF?
Oh, it was just like for our league. It was just like they give one senior from each sport, like just to give them an award for what they've done. Because they feel bad for us not having a senior year, so they wanted to reward. I got picked for baseball. A couple of my friends at school got softball and other things, but yeah, I got baseball.
So since this was your senior year and it got cut short, unfortunately, and you played all 4 years on varsity, correct?
Yeah.
So what would you say is like your most memorable moment on the field that you can recall?
Moment? Probably this last year. We had a game. It was a championship game in our one of the preseason tournaments. It was like part of pre-league. Like it was still in season, but it wasn't like league play yet. But we played like a top team, like La Mirada, and they got a couple of draft guys. They're really good, and I forget what the score was, but we were totally the underdog, and we pulled out, and it was cool. We got a dog pile. We won the championship and all that. It was cool.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, and I kind of take more pride in that, like, because like I'm the senior, like it's like my team, so that probably meant more to me than the other years because I was kind of the follower of the seniors, and now I was the senior and I get to lead. So, it was kind of my team. I felt more responsible for that.
Hey, Sean, did you get any other offers besides St. Mary's in Long Beach?
No, so I committed to St. Mary's pretty early. I had other looks from other schools, but I kind of shut down the process early. Like after my freshman year, I committed to St. Mary's.
Wait, so, oh, it was your freshman year, not sophomore?
Summer after my freshman year.
Jeez.
So
Hey.
what would be the reason you committed after your freshman year and didn't let that, window of not opportunity, but that window of teams trying to get your services?
It's kind of like I've heard stories of guys that they turn down offers early and then they don't get the same thing later in their career and things happen. So, and I coach and I trusted everything and I fell in love with that college and, things fell the dominoes fell in a different way that I thought. And now I'm going to Long Beach, but I mean, obviously, it's cool to get the opportunity and I felt like welcome there. So I jumped all over it.
Hey, that's all that matters right there, bro. As long as you feel appreciated and welcome to join that team, then you're sold, bro. You're set.
Yeah.
Hey, what's some of your idols that you looked up to, whether it's just not baseball, but like overall, like who is someone that you idolize their work ethic and be like, so you can be like, I want to be like that person?
Obviously, my parents, being my parents, I get to see the insides and outs. Shout out parents. But in the sports world, Kobe, obviously. Rest in peace. Always a Laker fan, so shout out Kobe.
Rest in peace.
Just like the work ethic, not necessarily on the baseball. Yes, sir. Not necessarily.
I was gonna ask, who do you think, either past player or present player, who do you think has the best looking swing in all of baseball?
Best looking swing.
Yeah.
As a righty,
Uh-huh.
I can just like Javi Baez as a righty, but like lefty swing, because lefties are just in a whole different thing. It just looks cooler. Like it's not even that much different from the right side to the left side, but lefty swings just look so much cooler. And I wish I was lefty. But Ken Griffey Jr. for sure, the swing for sure. He is probably the sickest. But for righty, like player right now, Javi Baez.
Okay.
Ken Griffey Jr. is always the go-to answer whenever that question's brought up. His swing was always so smooth.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's nice. Hey, I told Alex, because every time I see you, you always either walk in a Toronto Blue Jays hat or Tua jersey. You're a Blue Jays fan, right? Or what are you? I'm not sure, bro. You have me confused sometimes.
I'm a Blue Jays fan for sure.
You are? Okay. So my next question is, what do you think with the season potentially being shrunk to half from what the reports have been told? Do you think the Blue Jays still got a shot of making some noise?
Oh yeah, I mean the AL East is freaking tough, but we got those young men, Vladdy, Bichette, Biggio. We got them young cats that are gonna turn up for us. But we'll see. Next couple years, I gave them a couple years to get their feet wet, but next couple years,
watch out. Years, all right.
You'll see.
We'll come back. We'll circle around this conversation in a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what was I gonna ask you? Oh, so what are you doing? Like I've already asked you, like what you're doing on quarantine, but like when you're not training or when you're not focusing on baseball, like what is it that you're doing? Are you watching Netflix shows? Are you just watching sports videos? What you doing?
So I'm playing a little bit of video games. I'm not like a huge video game guy, not crazy video game guy, but.
What are you playing?
Call of Duty, a little bit, like a couple hours a day maybe. But I'm watching a lot of I'm a huge like all sports fan. So like they're replaying a bunch of old games and stuff. So I'm watching all the old college football games. Although we better have a call, then I'm gonna need that. But I'm watching all college football games. I am playing the old college football 2014 video game.
No way, bro!
Wow.
You have that?
2014.
It's the last one they made before they shut down the video games. So
yeah, it is.
That one clean, but I've been playing that. That one's fun.
That one was actually like one of the funnest college football games I've ever played. Was it the Dynasty mode you're doing?
Now I'm doing the dynasty. My coach, make my own coach.
Yeah,
I locked myself in my room like for a week straight just playing Dynasty, like when that first came out.
It's awesome. I keep myself from playing too much, but it can get away from me sometimes for sure.
Well, college football. You said you're watching college football games. What old games are you watching?
Whatever they put on. Sometimes they be putting these blowout games. I have no clue why they're putting them.
But it's educational for people who haven't seen it.
Like watching the old Miami games.
Miami to you?
Miami U.
Like they're playing a bunch on the ESPN U or whatever. So I've been watching those. The U went back when they were the U. You know, those are fun.
Yeah. Dude, that documentary's good. I don't know why. After watching that documentary, I started following you a lot because I just
30 for 30.
Oh, the 30 for 30 is so good.
Yeah,
Watch that. It's a really good one.
I like the second one because I feel like I could relate more to the second one because knowing those players that came out, like McGinnis, who Ed Reed?
Yeah.
Who else? And a few other Santana Moss, like all those dudes, like, wow, they were crazy. They were literally crazy people.
Devin Hester was from there too.
Oh, yeah. Who could forget Devin Hester, man?
Oh, that's right. That dude was a stud. Oh, speaking of Devin Hester, so as a Chicago Bears fan, what do you think the Bears? What's going on? That's all. That's what I want to know.
Ooh, I didn't know you were a Bears
going
fan.
on?
Yes, I'm weird. I got Toronto and Chicago, but we got everything but the QB, man. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Week 10, who's the starter at quarterback? Is it Trubisky or is it Nick Foles?
See, I can't see him. I can see him going like switching off games and stuff like that if things aren't working. I think Trubisky's gonna be. I think Trubisky's the guy. He's just got to get confident. Like I feel like he's passive. He's not. He's kind of.
People forget you guys were really good. The Bears were really good 2 years ago.
We're in the playoffs 2 years ago. You know.
Yeah, double doinked right out.
If we don't hit the post, we're battling for a championship. You know, but I think we got a decent quarterback. I mean, Nick Foles is good too. So I mean, whoever wins is gonna. We got the defense. I pick up Allen Robinson every year on fantasy. He's my guy. We got good receivers. We got good receivers and everything, but
you guys need a running game. You guys lost. I think it was not Jawan. Yeah, I forgot. It's either Jawan or Jordan Howard. But you guys lost Howard, and your running game was really lacking last year. Which might be the reason why Trubisky wasn't able to dominate as much as he did the year before.
I need my Bears this year, man.
Hey, as long as you guys have wide receivers, because another team in that same division decided to draft a quarterback first round, so I think you guys might be all right.
I saw that. You'd be salty if you're Aaron Rodgers. Are you salty or no?
He actually just responded to it yesterday.
Yeah,
basically he was shook about it. He said he had zero clue as to why they did that, but he understood it because he was in that same position when Brett Favre was the starter and they drafted Aaron Rodgers. So he's like, I mean, I guess, but like, why would they do that? But
13-3 last year, you know.
They're 13-3.
NFC Championship.
They were in the NFC Championship. They were 13-3. They have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and they had a top 2 running back last year in yards gained in the rushing game. So they go ahead and draft a quarterback and the running back in the first 2 rounds with their first 2 picks. So I don't know what they're doing, but
I'm not complaining.
I was gonna say I hate the Packers too. As you can see, I'm a Cowboy fan. Anything that just causes Packer fans misery, I am all for.
Hey, mine's the Ravens, so mine's the Ravens. Hey, Sean, I never got to ask you what's your major for when you're going to Long Beach?
Right now, I'm communications, so anything along the lines of. Is that you too?
Yeah, my major's communications.
Right up, yeah. I'm not yet, but just anything along the lines of like broadcasting and reporting, TV reporting, anything like that. I've always been a good speaker, I feel. So, I feel like I can have success in that.
Well, you can always come to us if you ever need any pointers, bro. I mean, hey, I just trying to throw it out there, like, hey, friendly tip. If you
Why
need any
not?
help. Like, seriously, my doors are always open. Um, Last question: Did you get a chance to watch the Last Dance documentary?
I watched like 4 episodes.
What in
This
the
before
four episodes that
it was
happened?
before time, so like it wasn't as interesting for me.
I get you, because it's, yeah, I feel you.
I was
Okay.
I was the Kobe generation. I grew up.
Yeah, same here. I think I don't know. Like I loved it. Oh, I think it's probably because like, well, for starters, I love to tell people that I was named after Michael Jordan because I was born in '95, and the Bulls were a full force in the '90s. So I mean,
That
who's
works.
not gonna believe that I was
I
named
did.
after Michael Jordan?
I watched the episode where they went over when he went to the White Sox. I watched that. I watched that.
Oh man, what did you think of his baseball career? Michael Jordan's baseball career.
I mean, people don't understand. Like the minor leagues is tough. Like that's hard baseball. You know,
I know, and
how
for
many
him to have been able to put up numbers out there.
not many people can hit 200. You know, in the minor leagues. You know, if he stuck with it, and he could probably, you know, put up a fight to make it. You know, I think he shows the right sport, but he's multi-talented in that aspect. Yeah.
Not many people can put up 200 at all, even if it was little, not minor league,
A lot of
little league.
in high school.
I was gonna ask right now. So you said that because it was the Jordan documentary, it didn't interest you as much.
Yeah.
If you could pick one either baseball team or one baseball player that they followed around for a whole year, like they did for the Jordan documentary, who would you pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one. And like no bias, right? So like not like, just a
Nah,
British.
just whatever,
It's
whatever.
yeah.
Okay. Marcus Stroman. I'm a huge Marcus Stroman guy.
Ooh, Blue Jays, right?
He's on the Mets now. I'm sad for that, but he's a cool cat, and he's
All right.
5'8". So, you know.
Hey, we were talking. Me and Alex were talking. Alex, what was that player that you mentioned earlier from MLB that went on Twitch and basically just went on a huge page?
Blake Snell.
You hear that? Did you hear anything that Blake Snell said about basically players going out there and playing during the was it COVID?
What do you say?
Basically, he was saying that Alex, you were basically giving me a whole breakdown. I don't know. You want to go ahead and do this?
Blake Snell was basically he was live streaming him playing, I think, MLB The Show or some sort of MLB baseball video game, and he made a comment that he wouldn't want to go back to play with the pay cuts that the MLB is considering having the players go through. That's really it. A lot of people are taking different sides of that. I wouldn't want to ask you because you're obviously still playing, you know, for free for the love of the sport.
Yeah.
But what are your? Let me just ask you this: what do you think the MLB is actually going to do? Do you think they're going to have games with like no fans, or there's going to be like bubble cities where they put like all the teams in one city, like in the middle of Arizona, and just do the season that way? What do you think the MLB is going to do?
Yeah, I mean, California just went out and said they could probably have games with no fans by July. So, I mean, I don't think there needs to be a certain hot spot where all teams have to be. But, you know, I feel like if California can have games with no fans by July, I feel like all states can have games with no fans by July, you know?
Let's stick some cardboard cutouts of ourselves. Who's down? Let's go Germany style.
Yeah, Jordan's referencing earlier in the show. We were talking about how the Korean baseball league. I don't know if you've seen any of
I've seen
those.
A little bit
So
for it.
they got in trouble because they put sex dolls in the stands. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, some of their dolls were
bro.
sex dolls. They put up like cardboard cutouts of actual fans, and then they're actually pumping artificial crowd noise through the stadiums. So sports look like they're going to really, really be different this year.
I watched the couple UFC fights that they had.
Oh,
those were fun.
Those are fun.
I almost like forgot that there was no fans.
Dude, right?
It I felt like it was more intimate. Like you could actually hear what was going on in the ring.
You hear the coaches, you hear, yeah, that was cool.
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you guys have ever watched Ultimate Fighter, but it reminded me just like that because you could hear the coaches giving the directions to the fighters like you can in Ultimate Fighter when you can't hear it in those big old produced giant fights because the crowd noise, obviously.
Yeah, it was a different perspective for sure. It was cool. I wouldn't mind playing with no fans, you know. I
Really?
feel like
why is that?
at a certain point, like, yeah, you've been away from the game for so long, you do anything, you know, to get it back. I'm sure, you know, if they have the same love for the game, I'm sure a lot of the professional athletes feel it.
You even heard LeBron come on and say, "I'll play."
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
anybody's playing at this point, dude. Like,
for the sake of the fans, they got to go out and play at some point.
dude, for real. All right, Sean. We're gonna let you go, bro. You gotta get ahead of you. But first off, we love that you were able to join us, chop it up with us, get to know you.
Always.
This has been fun, bro. Can't wait to see what you do in Long Beach. Cause I did actually. I still remember this. Me and Harris went to go check watch you play before we went to watch the Laker game. Forgot what team we were playing against, but I was like, damn, Sean's. I think he got on base too. Like I don't think it was I don't think it was a first at bat, but I think it was the second at bat that you were able to get on base. I think he got like a double or something like that. But right then and there, I was like, yeah, Sean's good, bro. Sean's a good player. He's a pretty good player. Saw everyone hyping you up after that hit. I'm like, damn, Sean's like the king up in this sport right now, man. Like, good for that guy. Good for him.
Try and keep it going, man.
Appreciate it.
Sean, where can people find you? Are you on Twitter so people can follow you and see what you do at Long Beach?
Well, Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram, but S_Mcleod27. That's my. Yeah, find me there. I'm mostly on Instagram. Twitter's cool, but I'm mostly on Instagram.
I get you. I go like back and forth between the two.
Definitely.
All right, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You have a great day, bro.
Anytime, Sean.
Sean Mcleod, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sean.
Woo! Let's go. Dope, bro. Sean Mcleod, Long Beach State baseball player. That was good, bro.
Future Long Beach State baseball player.
Current Ayala High School. Bro, I forgot to mention,
transition.
but I can speak on this. So, my mom's a teacher, so I got the lowdown on how their graduation is about to happen. So, they're basically doing a drive-by type thing where they are basically allowing students to drive on campus to get their, you know how like you would walk. I'm not even playing, bro. Not even playing.
So they're gonna drive on the campus and be like, "Oh, drive-through diploma." You know?
So, okay, so the way Ayala High School is designed, basically anyone that goes to Ayala is going to fully understand what I'm talking about, or anyone that has gone to Ayala is going to fully understand what I'm talking about. So Ayala has a center stage, and then the library is directly straight ahead. So, oh well. So basically, they're driving up, getting out of their cars, grabbing their diploma, per se, by the principal, walking back into their cars, driving off campus, and then it goes on for 2 days. It's a 2-day ceremony, according to what I've heard. It's a 2-day ceremony.
How is it a 2-day ceremony?
Basically, the only people that are allowed in the car is family members of the person graduating.
That's so interesting. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was either Instagram or Twitter. I don't remember which one. There was a video of the employees at the Walmart in Chino.
Yeah.
And some of the employees were graduating this year from high school. And they did a like small walking ceremony at the Walmart for them. And like had Walmart caps and gowns on and everything. It's really interesting, man. I'm just like I'm wondering, like in a couple months from now, are we still going to be doing like drive through and drive by everything? Do you think we're going to have like drive by birthdays still and stuff?
Couple
hope not,
years?
man.
No.
No, I didn't say a couple
months?
years. I said a couple months. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Man, that's not cool.
Probably. All right, Bo. I'm going to go ahead and hit us with this isn't the one. Oopsie doopsie. Oh, what did I do with it?
Whoopsie.
No. Where is it? Dude, I literally
Jordan.
just had it.
Jordan, before,
So-
because I noticed this was not in your news report that you're about to drop, I want to ask you this right before you put your news report out. What do you think about James Harrison's comments last week that Mike Tomlin gave him a envelope after his illegal helmet-to-helmet hit where he got fined $75,000 against the Cleveland Browns where he hit Mohamed Massaquoi, if I remember correctly. So you got James Harrison saying that, I was given an envelope after I got fined $75K. Then you have James Harrison backtracking. It was actually his lawyer backtracking and saying, that never happened. I would have known it would have happened.
Yep.
Mike Tomlin, I don't think ever spoke out, but Art Rooney came out and said that he has no idea why James Harrison would have made such comments and that there's no truth to them. So what is going on down there with James Harrison?
So from what I've been reading, and because I kind of got bored one day, obviously, and did a deep search on the web. So apparently one side is saying this never happened. And then you got James Harrison. Okay, to be fair, James Harrison does speak out a lot about the Steelers, about his time after the Steelers. This isn't the first time we've heard James Harrison speak after leaving the Steelers, right?
Right, but this is the first time we've heard him say that he possibly got paid for hitting someone where he got fined.
But, okay, so I heard from, because I was listening to Pat Mack's show right after that all got basically got let out. He was saying how he himself was doing something similar like that on special teams. He was basically telling players on the special teams, hey, if you guys are able to keep the ball within the 20-yard line, first one to get the ball gets $1,000.
But that's player to player. That's not coach to player.
He wasn't the only one that was possibly doing it. Dude, it wouldn't surprise me if Jerry Porter
So wait,
came on
he's
his phone.
not – okay, so do you realize what you just implied? That if James Harrison's not the only one who's doing it.
There's a lot of players doing it. Yeah, but
So you're saying that there's bounty gate happening all over the league?
probably. Think about it.
Bro, no.
Think about the rookie that just got
No.
off on the field. You don't think that person's going to say, hey, I'll pay you this if you can do this?
No.
Really?
Okay. There's a
Like,
sort
really?
of
think about it.
There is a camaraderie that you hear about all these sports leagues. They look out for one another. Very rarely do you have people going out and trying to end people's careers or really physically hurt people. Like really physically damage them.
If those rumors were true that James Harrison did it, then obviously there's going to be a lot of repercussions. Well, what could happen? Honestly,
Nothing.
what's going to happen
Okay,
with that?
well, nothing now, but that's the thing.
Exactly. So
Nothing.
basically,
But here's the thing, Jordan. Nothing would happen to James Harrison. Something would happen to Mike Tomlin. If this comes out as it's true, if it came out as true, even though all reports show that nothing's going to come out of it. Same thing as what?
Same thing that happened to Sean Payton.
Sean Payton doesn't even think they're going to do the same thing. Sean Payton doesn't believe. Sean Payton came out on 105.7 The Fan and said that he doesn't believe the NFL is going to seriously look into this as they did Bounty Gate with the Saints back in 2009 or 2011.
I mean, he got a point because Bounty Gate, we heard news over and over about something. There's always something new about that. But to circle back to your question, which was, is this like your question was, is this serious as it, like what's going on here, basically? That was your question, right? Like what's going on here?
I think we covered it, though.
Yeah, so, I mean, if he did do so, then obviously there's going to be a lot of repercussions to happen. But, I don't know, bro. Like, I find it really hard to believe that actually happened. That's why I know it's super biased to me to say that. Because even during when the Saints thing happened, I didn't really think that was happening. I was like, no way. And then more and more details came out, and then obviously we're like, oh, okay. Like right now, it's like, okay, he was given an envelope to basically do this, but like, there's no proof of the money. There's no proof of the envelope. Let alone, there's no alibi witness to say that he
No,
did that.
it's all just word of mouth. It's just
Yeah.
all of what
So
James
that's why I'm
Harrison said.
just like, okay, like someone like literally, who is it? Any NFL player can come on and say, hey, I did this. Oh, did you really? Okay. Well, if they were to do a deep dive on it, then maybe they could find that to be true. But what other deep dives have they done? All we know is he was offered money. It was in an envelope. Tomlin told him to say, hey, you see that player right there? Take him out.
What?
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. Like, those are what have been told. That's what's been told. But they haven't proved it yet. Word
I
of
don't
mouth.
think there's a way they could prove it, Jordan.
Exactly. So even if it did happen,
So let me ask you: Do you think that happened or not? Because you kind
no,
of,
not even close.
but you just said that you think all
No, I
teams are
said
doing
if
it.
I said if it were to happen.
But before that, you just said if all teams are most likely doing bounty gate kind of stuff. If not now, back then.
Oh no, they're
So,
probably doing it right now.
okay, so then how are you saying you don't believe the Steelers did it when they have a report that it did it, but you believe other teams are?
Honestly, if we all doing it, I would just fuck it. Screw it, dude. Do what you gotta do. Everyone's been left. Screw it. Hey, bro.
What?
Do I personally think that? I don't know, man. If we're all doing it, then we're doing it. It deserves to be looked at. But there's really no way to find out unless somebody actually shows proof of evidence. So
Right.
if we are doing it, then we're doing it. Oh well. But anyways,
I don't have a response to that. I'm just like, well, I would never want my team to do that.
Same thing with Cowboys. I mean, you wouldn't think that anything's going on over there.
So I'm just gonna take this as you believe that bounties are still being handed out by every team to the players. That's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't understand how you can think that.
You wouldn't think that people are actually putting bounties on people after what happened?
I just try to get you to understand, like, bro, there's no way that's happening like that.
People are low, dude. The guys that don't start are out here trying to make money.
Right, and that's exactly why they would look after each other and make sure they don't seriously injure one another.
You imagine if it were still happening though? Like if that was really a still pretty happening type of thing. You know the amount of blowback that's gonna get.
It would get a lot. I mean, just look at how we're arguing about it.
Yeah, for real. Man, I can't even find, dude. I literally had the link, and now I don't know what I did with it, and I'm honestly pissed off and very disappointed that I don't have it. Oh,
the link for your sound.
Yeah, but in the meantime, while I go ahead and look for it, you want to go ahead and bring in Stat Guy?
Okay, I can bring in.
He should be ready. He told me he was ready.
He has been waiting in the chat room. Let me bring him in now. Connecting to Lucas. What's up, Lucas?
What's up, Lucas?
What's up, Lucas? Our P&T statistician, stat man.
So here's my set, because
really quick, Lucas, what jersey are you wearing? That looks like a Laker jersey. Ooh, LeBron. I got my Kobe right here.
Because since you guys probably been watching The Last Dance, so I got a little bit of an interesting stat here. It's a winning stat about Michael Jordan. So the stat is that, did you know Michael Jordan, he's never lost with a good chance to win in the playoffs. So every time he had a good chance to win, every time he was favored, he never blew it.
So every time his team was favored in the matchup, he never lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That's
like I'm like thinking long and hard.
It's
Huh?
clutch. It's a very
Yeah,
clutch kind of
exactly.
thing.
He's very clutch. Like with the whole GOAT debate thing, he never blows a good moment. LeBron had one really good moment where he blew 2011 with obviously Dirk Nowitzki,
Dirk Nowitzki,
beat the
yes.
odds, and he
Jason
went
Terry.
against the victory.
Who else was on that? Jason Kidd, I think, was on that team.
Yeah.
That was a fun Mavs team. They beat the Lakers, though. I was mad about that.
Yeah, that was crazy too. I don't know how that happened, but
That was the no, it wasn't the Kobe Dwight years. That was 2 years later.
that was
What was that?
2011. The
Yeah,
2011.
Kobe and Dwight was 2013.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So Michael Jordan has never lost a game when he is favored.
Yeah,
Exactly,
in
when
the
his
playoffs, he
team's
never
favored.
lost a
Insane.
series when he's favored.
Okay, so he's never lost a series.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, a playoff series. Oh, that right there is that.
Well, that makes sense because he lost the ones to the Pistons before, the Bulls ran the East in the 90s and the Celtics. So
Yeah, the East was like before he got Scotty and Dennis, the East was really stacked. So like he wasn't really gonna do everything by himself. You can't expect one man to. The East was tough back in the day. Like the East was really tough.
let me ask you this
thank
really
you.
quick, Lucas. Let me just ask you really quick. What has been? I'm assuming you've watched all the episodes of The Last Dance. What's been your favorite part?
Actually, no, I only watched episode 1. Episode 1 was interesting though. I'm gonna catch up though. I'm gonna catch up today and like tomorrow. But
Right.
there's a lot of stuff I get on my Google page about like Last Dance and Michael Jordan and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Makes me think a little bit different about stuff. I already was a big, I really like Michael Jordan. I think he's the GOAT. Him and James, I think he's amazing. But it makes me think of Jordan in a different way, I guess.
You'll love this
Makes sense.
documentary then, man. You really will. I'm catching up on it later today too.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas. We're gonna let you go ahead and go, but appreciate you for the stat. The stat was Michael Jordan has never lost a series whenever he is favored. That's a good stat, bro. Our statistician, Lucas.
Thank you,
Garcia.
Lucas. Thank
Bye,
you.
Jordan.
Bye.
Absolutely never lost a playoff series when he's favored. You know how many? That's all right. That's a stat right there, bro.
It's a good stat. Very good stat.
I finally got it to work.
Did you?
Yes, sir. All right. It is my favorite segment only because I like reading the news. That was really weird of me to say, but it's true. What? All right. Governors from New York, Texas, and California announced yesterday that sports are set to return. Texas announced that sports can resume by May 31st, and California can resume as early as June and get started in July. What are you most excited for if things do set to return?
I'm sorry, what was that, man? Sorry, my mom texted me. What?
Oh, no, you're good. What are you most excited for if things do set to return?
For what sport? Because I feel like the answer is different for each sport. If it's the NBA, I am excited to see. Okay, one, there's a couple things. Like this NBA season was put on a shelf. And it's like there's so much that's been unresolved. One thing I want to see is when they come back, I want to see if, they do the no fans. And I want to be able to hear the players talk on the court. That's one thing I want to know for sure. I want to see for sure. Another thing is I finally want to see who the best team this year in LA is. And that's one of the biggest reasons I want this NBA season to resume. Because we have never had such a battle between both the Clippers and the Lakers ever, and it just abruptly got stopped, you know. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back really quick to when we had Rashad White on the show. Me and him had a really in-depth argument as to why we think our teams are better. He's a Clipper fan. I'm the Lakers fan. I at least really want to see who was right from that argument.
Dude, same. Maybe we can bring him back on.
The NFL, I think the answer is obvious. I want to see all of these new faces on their new teams. Drew Brees Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski in Tampa Bay. Who else made a move this year? Teddy Bridgewater. I'm really excited to see what he does for Carolina. Jameis Winston is in New Orleans to be Drew Brees' backup, and I am going to make a prediction that Drew Brees will have an injury at some point, and Winston is going to fill in. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, look, I'm just going to say I don't know what the injury is going to be, but you got to remember, Drew Brees' his thumb blew up on someone's helmet last year. And that's why Teddy Bridgewater got a contract with the Carolina Panthers this year, because he went undefeated with that team. And
speaking on that, I'm knocking on wood to hope that does not happen to Drew Brees, because potentially this could be his last season, and I do not want him to go out with a Tommy John or horrible injury that could end his season.
See, I didn't say Tommy John or something like that. I just brought up last year's injury, bro. Why are you throwing that stuff out? Oh.
No.
Anyway, if it's the MLB, I'm honestly just excited. The one thing I will say is that every MLB season, every baseball season, the one thing I'm always the most excited for is going to the games. So there's kind of not going to be that this year with that. So I guess that would be the least reserved. I really miss basketball and football. Baseball I miss too, because it's that thing that's in between them for me, that kind of stopgap. But I just miss sports, man.
Dude, man. Our next news that we got here is England's soccer league announced yesterday that they've gotten the green light to resume small group training, but there's no timetable on whether they will resume games due to disagreements. So I guess you can say that England's kind of having the same type of situation that we are. Players don't want to go out because it's not safe, but the owners are saying that they got precautions that are taking place, so on and so forth. It's one of those back and forth type of duels. They do hope to get that resolved so that the Premier League and the other soccer leagues in England can resume. So that's the news on England soccer leagues. Next news that we got here is New York Giants Quinton Dunbar attorney went on KJR 950 yesterday and said that his client was not involved in a robbery that happened last week. His attorney went on to say that he expects Dunbar's case to be dropped due to the lack of truthfulness. I'm sure you're familiar with what happened last week between the two football players that basically went and robbed a poker game. That is what has been said. Do you have any thoughts on what happened?
The story has changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah, I'm confused.
You're confused? Okay.
There's two stories.
There's four.
There's four? Oh, I only know
There's four different NFL players who got arrested for something to do with what's it called? A gun, a firearm. Mm-hmm. So it all started last week when Miramar PD issued arrest warrants for Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker and Seahawks cornerback Quinton Dunbar. It was for armed robbery. They were both at a party when, according to witnesses at first, and this is from the first original arrest warrant and police report, the witnesses said that both Dunbar, Baker, and another man robbed everyone at gunpoint. It's since then been walked back and that other witnesses from the party are saying that both Baker and Dunbar were robbed at the party as well, and that this whole thing has turned into a shakeup. One thing, let me see if I can pull it up. I can't.
Because I do know. Okay, the one thing that I saw, the last thing I saw was basically they lost a poker game, and they believe that they went back to collect what they lost.
You're mixing up stories.
Yeah, that's why I'm just
you're
like,
you're talking about a completely different person.
Dude, I'm just like, oh no, bro. This is one of them stories where I'm just like,
that story is completely like separate from
yeah,
this
that's what
one.
I figured, bro.
You're talking about Corey Latimer.
Oh, that's that story?
Yeah, you're talking about Corey Latimer.
Okay, let me ask you this: with all these stories of NFL players, that are basically either A, got drafted, B, have a second year in the league, with everyone not being able to go into the office, because right now OTAs were the start. Do you think not having OTAs has affected some players to go back into? No, you don't think that?
No, dude. Okay, like 4 players got arrested. How many players are in the league?
A lot, but I mean,
how many players? You got to remember, right now each team has about 90 on the roster. So right now that's 28,000 players.
Right.
28,080 players. When you take in 4 of those players, that's not even 0.17% of the league.
True.
It's less than 1%.
True.
So, as I was saying, Baker and DeAndre were basically what's coming out is that it looks like they were set up, and that they got robbed. But initial reports that they were the ones being robbed. Their attorneys are really working diligently to try to sort everything out. Latimer was booked on assault, menacing, illegal discharge of a firearm, and a reckless endangerment. So the story behind that is that Latimer was at a poker game, and that there was an argument that took place, and that the Latimer's friend who owned the apartment that the poker game took place kicked everyone out. So what ended up happening is Latimer, 30 minutes later, showed back up with a gun and supposedly threatened to kill both the host of the poker game and his girlfriend who were there at the time.
Yes.
There was an altercation.
Yes.
There was an altercation. There was a fight that happened, and Latimer ended up discharging and shooting the gun, not at his friend and his girlfriend, but in the near vicinity, almost like a warning shot. Now, yesterday, it just came out that this whole argument that took place at the apartment was that Latimer was I didn't write it down. Latimer was initially upset because the argument was about, I don't want to say it wrong, but it was about some sort of physical abuse with his child.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
I think it was sexual from what I remember.
It was something that had to do with, okay, you're right.
So I think that story is completely crazy as well. And then the 4th story was Ed Oliver, defensive lineman for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
He was found driving under the influence. They said he had an open beer can in between his legs. But when they pulled him over, and that he also had a firearm in the car. But besides that, that's all he was really arrested for. There is a video of the arrest taking place, and they have him doing the roadside sobriety test and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what you said about the teams and how they're not able to go handle or go into the facilities. So for Oliver, the Bills defensive lineman, his team is letting him still partake in all the Zoom meetings. Whereas Baker, the cornerback for the Giants,
mm-hmm.
he was told to stay away from online Zoom team activities until he gets his legal troubles issued out. So so each team is kind of taking their own approach and precautions. But this week was crazy when it came to firearms and NFL players. Yeah. A lot of, and it's crazy because like I've been following this story for the last 5 days straight, and every day when I wake up, something new comes out and completely changes and flips the script. So,
There's
I mean,
always something new with that.
there's probably going to be something tomorrow with it too. So,
Great.
that's really been the biggest news of this week NFL wise so far.
Talking about NFL. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's all. Those are all NFL players.
I got a notification right now. It's kind of breaking news 10 minutes ago. Bleacher Report. Alex Bugman parts ways with Clutch Sports just days after the Astros sign stealing documentary was planned. So Bugman is out on Clutch Sports.
Okay, I mean
That's baseball news for it happens, man. But yeah, so that's all the news that I got for this week. I do not have today in history planned. Completely forgot about that. Whoopsie doopsie. But lasting thoughts that you might have on your mind before we depart.
I have a lot.
And go our separate ways.
As you know, NBA teams have opened up the practice facilities.
Correct.
I have the full list of teams that have opened up their practice facilities for voluntary workouts. That is the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Denver Nuggets, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors, the Atlanta Hawks, the Indianapolis, the Indiana Pacers, the Utah Jazz, the Sacramento Kings, both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers, the Houston Rockets, and the New Orleans Pelicans have all, since yesterday, opened up their practice facilities. Now,
So go ahead.
I was going to say New Orleans head coach Alvin Gentry did say on NYT Sports yesterday that even though the CDC is warning about increased vulnerability to COVID for those 65 and older, Gentry came out and said that that's not going to stop him from doing his job once the season resumes. And Gentry is one of 3 coaches that are currently over that age range, with Gentry being 65, Greg Popovich of San Antonio being 71, and Houston's Mike D'Antoni being 69 years old.
Dang. Whew. Well,
Another thing. I don't know if we covered this fully, but NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent out a memo to the 32 teams a couple days ago detailing that today, actually May 19th, is the very first day the NFL will reopen its practice facilities, as what it's called with the first day of reopening. First phase of reopening. I mean, there are a lot of restrictions with this first phase, though. So teams are restricted to have a max capacity of 75 employees at their facilities, and
including the players.
No, so that's the big thing. Players or coaching. So neither the players nor the coaching staff are allowed at the facility unless it is specifically a strength coach helping a player rehab from injury.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, players still can't go into the facilities, and neither can teams for the NFL.
Interesting. But I mean, you see Tom Brady gather up his teammates and started practicing with them?
Yeah, at a high school in Tampa.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I mean, they're finding ways. I mean, Big Ben just shot a music video, it seemed like, on a practice field with Juju James and Ryan Switzer.
Ryan Switzer. I saw that video earlier. I don't have any more news. I just have 2 small, fun tidbits of information. Fun.
What's up?
So, a couple days ago, let me start with the trivia. Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Who currently holds the WWE 24/7 championship and currently is the longest reigning 24/7 champion in WWE history?
I'm going to have to be completely honest with you about that. I don't know a thing about WWE, bro.
Don't you know a thing about the NFL?
Oh, I know a lot about the NFL.
So Rob Gronkowski.
Would it be Rob Gronkowski?
Yeah, Gronk is the longest reigning 24/7 champion in the WWE. I wonder how that's going to work, because right now he's he's under contract for both organizations. I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, is the first person who tackles him in the NFL going to get the championship?
Hey,
But you know,
think about it like this. Check it. They're gonna do the exact same thing they did with Dennis Rodman when he got to show up during the NBA Finals. How did we miss that?
And get body slammed by Kyle Malone. Carl Malone.
You mean to tell me Dennis Rodman took a break? Dude, Dennis Rodman's a GOAT, bro. I respect him. I like that guy. There's a reason why I have a Dennis Rodman jersey. There's a reason. Just because his personality is honestly like he's himself. Does not really care, seems like, but he does care. But anytime you can dip from the Game 3 of the NBA Finals to go participate in the NOA and
NWO.
Yeah, with Hulk Hogan and a few other wrestlers that's during the finals. Oh, you know Karl Malone was there too?
Yeah, Karl Malone was there as well. And he body slammed both Hulk Hogan and
I found out there's a backstory to that, and it was not said in the documentary. Basically, I tuned in to another ESPN show to find out the backstory. So basically, those two guys, Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, were already in talks with that. What was it again? NWO.
Yes, NWO.
NWO. Right? Yeah. So they wanted to bring them two together while the NBA Finals was going on and pay them respectively. I forgot what the pay was, but the pay was so beautiful that they both said yes. But they really never discussed it on the court, yet alone they discussed it afterwards, which is how they were able to put these two together. That's why me and you are sitting here today. Like, how were they even able to? They had talks while the finals was going on about bringing them together.
Dude, the WWE is a giant TV show, basically.
Dude, like that's insane.
I can see how they did it, and they're just like, oh, by the way, Karl Malone is gonna, you're gonna be wrestling against him. They got to remember, those guys put a lot of time into the practice sessions to make sure the fights look good. So you gotta definitely believe that both Malone and Rodman were there like at least a day or two before, just practicing the moves to make sure they look good. So
without question, bro.
My last bit of information, it is on my Twitter. I'll go ahead and retweet it later. It's Alex_JR_Topete, and I'll also send it to the Quinton and Topete Show, the P&T, official P&T Show on Twitter. Bleacher Report a couple days ago put out a video, and this video was from, I don't know if it was from a documentary, but it was from the 2007 Patriots when he had Randy Moss on the team. And it is a video of Randy Moss and Bill Belichick sitting in Bill Belichick's office, and Randy Moss is inviting Bill Belichick to a Halloween party.
Huh.
Oh, and then Bill Belichick, they cut to Bill Belichick showing up at the Halloween party dressed up as a pirate. And that was literally the best thing I've seen all week, because I never thought I would see Bill Belichick dressed up as a pirate rollerblading. It was the best. I will put it up on the screen at some point when this video is actually up. But yeah, that was really funny. That made me laugh, like a really, really, really good laugh. Good, big old belly roll laugh.
I remember when I saw that too. Like, I totally forgot about it. I'm glad you brought that up, because again, I can't remember who said it either. But I found when they said that Bill Belichick. Oh no, it was Randy Moss trying to persuade Bill Belichick to have a Halloween party, and they wanted to invite him, and Bill didn't want to go. And Bill eventually showed up as a pirate. It was Randy Moss's idea to throw the Halloween party.
Right, it was Randy Moss's Halloween party.
Okay, that is our same story. Okay, so basically, here's a backstory in case some people aren't familiar with it. So Randy Moss ran into Bill Belichick's office one day and asked him if they could have a Halloween party, because they've been basically killing it this whole season. Why not have a party, right? Bill Belichick was like, basically, he wasn't up for it. He said, you guys can go ahead and do it. I'm not going to attend, blah, blah, blah. And then Randy Moss kept telling him, like, you need to show up, costume. Fast forward, they didn't think Bill was going to show up. Bill shows up with the pirate costume. Just picture Belichick in a costume other than a sweatshirt. It's basically what it is. So I do
Right.
recommend you go check that out.
Right. There's one more piece of news. It's kind of like gossip news.
So
Shaquille O'Neal, the Big Diesel, aka Shaq, he went on a special edition of the '90s, a special '90s edition of NBA Reunion, and it was a giant Zoom call. And he, on the call, apologized to David Robinson for fabricating and making up the story that the Admiral denied signing an autograph for Shaq back when Shaq was in high school.
interesting.
So Shaq first made that rumor, made that up back in the '90s, you know, and he's just barely now saying, "Oh, I made that up. I'm sorry, David." It's been 25 years, Shaq. It's been 25 years. I think that's a little too late.
A little, man.
Just
Little
kidding.
kitty Ted.
I'm just kidding. No, they really seem to play it off really well. So, I mean, that's all I have. That's all I have for my sports.
I don't really have much other than thank you for Sean for joining us on the
Yes, thank you, Sean Mcleod. Follow him. Well, I forgot what his Twitter was. I didn't write it down, but we will reclip it back. We'll also put it up right here. Follow him. He's going to be playing at Long Beach next year, and really excited.
I got the account name.
What is it?
You can follow Sean Mcleod at S_Mcleod, which it is MCLEOD_27. Sean Mcleod, future baseball player for Long Beach State.
Thank you, Sean, for joining the podcast today. We really appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. And honestly, we had a really great conversation, honestly. So go ahead, once again, go follow Sean, Sean Mcleod, on Instagram. He says he's on Instagram more than Twitter. You can follow us at official P&T Show on Twitter, and I believe it's official P&T_show on Instagram.
Yeah, it is official_PT Show for Twitter, and for Instagram, it's official PT Show.
Okay, so the underscore is for the Twitter, official_PT Show. You can follow Jordan at Rexy_Rex95. You can follow me at Alex_Junior_Topete. If you spell out Junior, it's wrong. It's Alex_JR_Topete. If you like the video, if you like what we're doing here, please be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment. We love all the feedback. We love the feedback. Be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts as well. All of our episodes will be up there as well. We're both YouTube and podcasting. So
next week, can we announce our guest for next week, or should we just wait?
You have one booked?
Yeah, we already do.
Okay.
Straight up. Next week, we have another guest from the East Coast. I need to figure out how to say his last name as well. But just to give him a background of the kid, he is ranked 14th among long snappers in the nation. He has accepted a scholarship to attend Army as a starter. That is who our guest is for next week.
Okay. And can't wait to have
his name's Sam.
Guest. Sam.
His first name is Sam. But yeah, everything will get sorted out by the time that pops up.
Okay, well, Sam, we're really excited to have you on next week. If you want to go ahead, one thing I will say is long snappers have one of the most specific jobs in all of sports.
Facts.
And I once trained to be a long snapper. I was really bad at it, really bad. Every time I would snap, I'll bring it up. Every time I would snap, the ball would go straight up in the air and like come back and hit me on like the back of my head. I could not just throw it straight back, dude, no matter what. So I'd love to just kind of pick his mind and see what the process is to be a really good long snapper.
Same. He's from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland represent. I had a roommate once from Cleveland.
Nice. All right, man. I got nothing other than just saying thanks to everyone that tuned in, or to anyone that is listening, or to basically anyone that has showed us love while we are doing this. We got a lot of great things coming up. So be sure to follow and stay tuned. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I'll just say all one more time. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We love that. We love that. You can visit our YouTube page, youtube.com/Quinton Show, I believe. You can also go to Twitter, official_P&T Show. Instagram is official P&T Show. We have a Facebook page that is facebook.com/Quinton Show. And I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, Jordan. I think
Nope. Other than be
that's
sure
it.
to tune in next week. We got a great guest coming in from Cleveland, Ohio. Until then, ladies and gents, you have a fantastic, fantastic day. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.